Bounce is what? Independence.
She's not financially literate. Bounce is hoping to cash out.
By the end of this podcast, let me just advise you that if I don't make anybody,
bruh,
then what have you achieved? Like in this place. Today we have money makers, movers, and shakers. After this episode, I want all of you to send me a 5% commission on any idea that you have, because we have brought to you the solution to all your problems.
Do you guys want to introduce yourselves before we get into the episode?
Sure, I can go first. Hi, everyone. I'm Reni. I am a finance content creator, and I live in Toronto, Canada, but I'm here in Lagos enjoying life. And yeah, I've been creating content for like 2 years about financial literacy and career development.
Cool.
Awesome.
Hi, everyone. I'm Adedayo Bakari. I'm the Chief Operating Officer at Money Africa. And at Money Africa, what we basically do is to teach people about money and also advise people about money. So it cuts across money management, how to save, how to invest, and how to earn. So that's basically what I do. My background is basically in Lagos, Nigeria. I've been in ethical asset management, investment banking, and financial literacy now with Money Africa.
So after this, I'm going to give you 15K.
Tell her that she should add 50K to my account.
I'm going to give you 15K.
Do you have that permission?
To add what?
Just add money to my account now. My ladder account, just add it. Anyway, Okay, so we're going to talk about money, which
but
is
before
lovely.
we start that, let's do one question.
Okay.
One.
Your outfit is bright again.
Oh, shut up.
Where are you going?
No,
Are you going somewhere? How come you address this way? You don't have what you are doing today.
At all.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Okay.
Knowing who you are starts with knowing where you come from. We are the now and the future. We know that we live in a world that offers us endless possibilities. We'll continue to win to create when, where, and how we want. And if they ask you how we did it, tell them we only know one way to do it. We don't wait for permission. We do it now. My name is Ayo Balogun, Wizkid, and I am made in Africa.
Did you celebrate independence? Did you guys celebrate independence?
No.
I was sleeping, so I guess.
So I guess not. You don't
It
care.
wasn't so bad.
Did you celebrate independence?
I didn't celebrate independence, but I went for something on Independence Day.
Okay, yes,
Two
there was
very
an
different
event.
things,
I was
yes.
ill. I couldn't go.
Yeah, so
That's the
I went
first
for...
time that I would not insult you for going somewhere.
Our friend Wale, who runs The Republic, had an event, an Independence Day event. The Republic is a magazine. Google it.
It looks
fantastic.
super fun, actually.
Yeah, it was really nice. Very cool. You know Wale, it was very...
Yeah, it was very nice.
Yeah.
I had a full Ankara outfit ready. I was actually very upset that my stomach decided that I was going to show itself the entire weekend. So yeah, but it was a lovely time all the same.
We're going to do this one, which is from Regina.
Good.
Regina says, I don't feel loved in my family. Very dramatic. My parents made me turn down offer.
Sorry, I know this has very little to do with anything. Like, Regina, I'm actually so sorry. But did you watch Mean Girls?
Yes.
Yesterday was October 3rd. Sorry, it's just because of Regina that I remember that. Anyway, never mind. Not important. If you don't get it, you don't worry.
Don't worry.
If you know,
just
you
never
know.
mind.
Yeah.
She says, my parents made me turn down an offer to a uni abroad in 2019 to go to a pharmacy school in a public uni here in Ghana because of lack of funds. They promised me I travel every break, and almost 4 years down the line, I realized I've been tricked. With the rising exchange rates, I don't think I'll ever go abroad. And even worse, I don't think any investment has been made into my education after I finished pharmacy school. It's making me resentful because I feel like all the time I'm settling for less with the excuse that they cannot afford. I honestly feel they can. And I don't feel as much is going to come from my life if I stay here in Ghana.
Ooh. Wait, what she meant? She said she was going to go abroad for uni.
Yes.
And her parents said she used to go to pharmacy school in Ghana.
Yes, because they
and that
couldn't
she
afford
travel
it.
Every year.
Every year.
Has you been traveling? Did she
No.
say?
She
4
hasn't been
years later.
traveling.
She's been bamboozled.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hoodwinked. For
I know
real.
people that know the
Led
concept.
astray.
She's been hoodwinked and led astray.
Yes.
Wow. Our parents are fond of that. I have to be honest. They're
Bamboozling.
What? They love selling. Nobody sells dreams to you but your parents.
Yes, the same way my father used to tell me that Naomi is not my mate. As in Naomi Campbell. Keep in mind, I was overweight. I was very fat, and this man used to say, see my model.
Regina,
We
this is
love
sad.
it.
This is very sad. Honestly, That's tough. Number one, this is why you should never listen to your parents. That's
I agree.
That's just one moral lesson to be learned from Regina's story. But two, it's tough because like we can't say if they can afford it or not. That for me, it's like I know she feels that they can, but that sounds like it's coming from a place.
Do you know why this is making me? This is why this is very interesting. Is so I had a discussion with my dad. I feel so bizarre saying it's now like 10 years ago when I was in university, and we're talking about he was very proud of himself, but he worried that because of my upbringing, I did not understand the value of money. So it's very interesting.
It's very correct.
It's very interesting that Regina is having this entire thing and she's talking about her parents when, for the most part, going to uni abroad, there are options. If you're bad like that, get a scholarship.
That's if you're bad like that.
No, what I'm saying is that there are options.
Also,
right?
getting a scholarship is not necessarily...
It's not only academic.
Smart, right? You might not be able to get a full scholarship.
But if you're bad like that, why do you want your parents to bear the entire responsibility?
I didn't know Regina can run.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're bad like that, so mommy and daddy have messed up.
Yeah.
They're liars and they're dirty frauds. Okay. Find your way now.
It's true, Sha. She could have... Well,
do you see what I mean? No, what
there
I mean
are
is
ways to try and
there are
run
ways to try, but it's very interesting that her resentment is completely towards her parents. Do you really think your parents don't want you to go to school?
But it's because they lied to her. No.
That's it now.
They could have said, okay, we can't afford it, but you go and
Girl,
get a scholarship by yourself.
If my dad promised... See, when my father sent me to university, a pound was 250 naira. We were balling.
See, we were
balling.
Look.
A pound is 800 naira now.
You know what? I wish they had packed everything and just handed it to me. Hold this for now. Forget any kind of future earning that you have. Just all the money we have, they should have just... Because look at the exchange rate.
Yeah. So it's very, very different. And this was already 2019.
But so what you have... So the thing is, I get what you're saying about like, it's not all on her parents.
No. She should be resentful. But what I'm saying is, there's a difference. If you're bad, like, if it means that much to
and
you...
she's trying.
Yes. If it means that
maybe
much
she doesn't know, you know.
Okay, so now she's going to find out.
Now she's better find out.
And there's nothing that will humble you like trying to do something your parents are doing. It's very easy to think that they're just being irritating.
Facts.
I can't speak on this. The reason is because I've never been in this situation where my parents have said A and I've not done B. So, especially in my education, I was meant to go to A levels. Guess what? I applied for the IB. By the time I've only applied to certain schools, there's not much to do. So for me, it's just like, okay, you know, the end result is that you want us to go to a good school. Within that, there's room. My issue is that she didn't change it for them. It doesn't sound like she has changed it for them. It sounds like she has just taken it on her chin.
Because in her heart of hearts, she knows that her Ghanaian father is still going to say, oh, because we even sent you to school at all.
You're actually putting me in a very, very, very difficult situation. Like, how can you ask me to choose between the Star Redler citrus and red fruits? Like, they're both amazing. I mean, think about it. What's not to love about the Star Redler citrus? The electrifying citrus mix is just everything. You know what? I've made my choice. The Radler citrus can. Are you sure? No. I mean, the Radler red fruits is just perfect. The refreshing new look and great taste. Come on, guys. This is actually very, very difficult. I don't know which one to choose. They're both amazing.
So anyway, Regina, good luck to you. Now I want to make money. Right. So hi, guys. Thank you so much for coming on. It's very important you're on because I am very poor. In the last 2 weeks, I've been going up and down.
So let's start with this question, which I think is very valid. Mm-hmm. I don't want to add myself to any other person's destiny. I beg. This is a tough season. How can I now, by Friday, make 10 million?
Important, not naira.
No, let's start there.
Naira.
By Friday, just let's start there.
By Friday, that 10 million naira will be what, 6?
I know, but what I'm saying is today is Tuesday. If they can't achieve that, then what else again?
Exactly.
So by Friday, go.
I'll leave it to you.
I mean, you're from Canada, so I'm in Nigeria, and we all understand how tough it is to make money. Maybe Ponzi scheme.
As in by Friday, chill now. By Friday.
No, so that if you put 3, if you put 3,
possible,
if you put 3, you bring 3, then they'll give you 8. You know,
not to be fair, I can run into my glasses. The Simba War suit. Forget it.
And then you start dancing on social.
Once I just dancing, no, bounce investments.
Bounce.
Let me tell you where you put off
so you want to add
and you just do a spotlight.
Actually,
on me.
We should do it.
You just do it. Let's say you do it. Listen to me. You do a
so much
spotlight on me now. It's a Bounce Investments. You know, see, John and I, we recently came into an opportunity that we just want to bring you in. Just want to bring you in. You know, if you've noticed recently, our skin has been glowing. We've been living that. It's not about the podcast. It's about the opportunities that we're finding that are not available to everyone. And so until Friday, there's an exclusive opportunity to join our investment club. Quickly, minimum buy-in is 300K. It sounds like a lot, but when you're making 3 times the profit, is it a lot? I don't know. Anyway, you know, we're closing it. Only 100 people are allowed in. And so get at me. If it closes, it closes. You know, there's not much I can do.
30 million.
And if you miss out, then you miss out. I'm so sorry. Thank you very much. In terms of what the investment are about, those are not the questions to ask. Winners don't ask those kinds of questions. They jump at it.
No,
the details are never important.
No, you won't say that to them. You say it's an investment that's vital to the. You just be adding English.
I say. Why I just say that? You know, it's also involved. There's artificial intelligence.
They don't say the returns in the yield are dependent on you. Just be
my dear. Artificial intelligence compounding.
I think you guys are missing the key ingredient. What you should tell them is that the opportunity you're offering is not available to the masses.
That's what I said now. That there's only 100 people that can get, that can only get involved. And then, you know, I'll just add that you know that we're always there for you guys. We can't lie to you now. Trust me. Mm-hmm. That's it. So anyway, you guys, contact me about Bounce Investments. Blah, blah, blah. If you want to get involved in my investment circle, go ahead. And you know, we're well connected in the tech industry, in manufacturing, and all sorts of industries. So we have the inside scoop. We have the inside scoop. We know what's coming up. Information that you can't get anywhere else.
They will not say we're something certified.
God bless you.
The certification does
not.
God bless you.
Just say NCCD.
NCCD. We say we're ED certified. What is ED? Air conditioner, they don't know. We'll just say we're ED certified.
Yo, we're partners with Money Africa.
Please, not financial advice.
But honestly, like, why should people? I'm not trying to be funny. Why should people listen to you about money? Like, what makes? Why should they, for instance, not listen to me as opposed to
you said you're broke?
Excuse, shut up. No. But tell people why you have a grip on, like, what gives you sort of like the leverage to talk about money with authority.
Okay, I think for most of us who studied in the country, financial literacy is not in our curriculum. So from, you know, primary school to secondary school, even at the university level, you're not taught about, you know, how to understand money, how to use money, what it means for you, the implications. And the funny thing is, we all know how money impacts us, even at the family unit. You know, you have situations where people, I think even just at the onset of the democratic regime in 1999, you have situations where parents would have to, you know, say, oh, it's this child that has to go to a private school. This child, you know, cannot go to a private school. Sometimes they have to withdraw everybody and take them to, you know, private school. Yeah. Sometimes you have situations where maybe the breadwinner in the family, the mother or the father, they lose their job, right? And there's no supplements because there's no insurance, there's no benefits or anything. So for us, I think it's really about our experience, right? A lot of us, you know, at Money Africa, I have a background in economics. And by having a background in economics, then I went into asset management. I went into, you know, just basically financial services. And we're able to understand that, you know, making money, it's very crucial to know how to have a handle on your money. It's not just about, oh, you know, I'm earning. Yes, you can be earning. You know, are you managing your money properly?
No.
Are you saving for, you know, emergencies? Take for instance, when COVID, exactly. So in Nigeria, we say you're one sickness away from poverty.
Is this sickness, my dear? One pothole.
Inflation in Nigeria is around 21% now.
Lovely.
Food inflation is around 23%.
Nice.
And Nigerians, out of every 100 naira that, you know, the average Nigerian earn, we spend roughly around 57 naira on food. So that's a big deal. So I think the first thing to prioritize, especially when you're in an inflation environment, sometimes you might have to front load some of your purchases.
What does that mean?
Like for instance, Christmas is coming. In Nigeria, the most popular staple is rice. You know, so maybe this is
the time to buy rice.
and some other items, because as inflation continues to rise and the naira continues to lose value, so will the cost of the goods and services that you would.
But catch 22, because if I earn, let's say I earn 100K, I cannot buy 3 bags of rice now or 2 bags of rice, because how much of my money is going to be left for just moving around, living. So whilst it is prudent to say, okay, let me buy a bag of rice now, 100K cannot afford me to buy a bag of rice and keep and also survive till the end of the month.
Yeah, absolutely. When it comes to, money management, sometimes you just need to get your money up, right? There's an income. When you think about
Money
it,
Africa said, go to work.
let's be realistic.
Yeah.
In Nigeria, we are the poorest country in the world, right? Minimum wage is 30,000 naira. A bag of rice is, okay, depending on what you're buying, but imported rice is from 35K to 40K, right? So automatically, it's a very tough, environment to live in. And the question then becomes, when things get tough, then you have to start prioritizing, So what is important? Are we going to pay for food and, ignore clothing? Are we going to have to pay for rent, especially if we live in, say, urban cities like, Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt and the likes? Housing is a big problem.
Yeah, the rents are crazy.
But in rural areas, you don't have that sort of problem. And also, if you live in a rural area, it could be easier, or a smaller town, it could be easy to source, food as well, because you live in
nearer farms
and all those things.
So what about property?
Okay.
Let me
get
shed
into
light.
it. Because any small thing, invest in
Jola
property.
mentioned, someone telling her to
Buy
go
land.
to Kwara. Even in
It's a nice place.
even in Lagos.
There's all these buy land in Ilashe. There's so many of these buy land.
First thing to notice in Nigeria over time, right? Apart from the problems I mentioned initially, in Nigeria, people pride themselves, rich Nigerians in the number of properties they have.
Yes, now. And in Yoruba movie, you say it's money properties.
But most of them, you can have a lot of property and be poor, cash, you can be cash poor. Why? Because, unlike Canada, in Nigeria, you can't even take equity out of your house.
No.
Or do anything with your house. So I think what is important to know, if you are, investor and you want to buy, real estate property, you have to define what the purpose is for. Do you want to buy a property to live in? Or do you want to go and build, a mansion in your village? That is sentimental and it is fine. But you have to know what your expectations are, right? So if you're doing it for commercial purposes, in Lagos, for instance, I have a client who has a 50 million property, and
property.
and they don't make up to 5 million in rent on it in a year. So 5 million is just what? That's 10%.
Yeah.
Right. So rental yields in residential real estate where people live in is actually very poor. It's around 5% to 7%. So over time, that is not an attractive part. Then the next thing you can talk about is maybe capital gains, or appreciation. You know how they say the land will always appreciate.
Will go up. Yeah.
But in Nigeria, one thing we've also realized is when you adjust for inflation or you adjust for exchange rates. So you see someone that, I bought a land, 1 million naira. But when you bought the land, a dollar was 100 naira or 120 naira. Yeah. And now you'll be happy, that you sold it off at 5 million naira. Meanwhile, the dollar is at 700 or, so it's very, very, it's such a difficult environment to sort of be an investor.
So there's no upside.
No.
I'm guessing
we brought people here for hope. So far.
Because what you've not told me is that still with my 40K, you say I shouldn't invest in properties. I shouldn't buy stocks.
You shouldn't do
We
can talk about what we can do.
Now.
So what have you been doing since?
Don't leave them.
Yeah, so in Nigeria, for instance, yes, you shouldn't do stocks if you don't have,
long-term,
fund.
sure.
And, they're short-term investments, right? So by short-term, you mean things like you can do dollar savings.
Okay.
Right? So in Nigeria, you can do dollar savings and get interest up to 5-7%. That's fantastic. And I say dollar savings because, in Nigeria, generally, you have to be careful about the naira. So you have to be sure that the money you're putting away the value is not being eroded away, by inflation. So dollar savings is actually very attractive now, because if you notice, you must have heard, that the euros is now, $1, €1.
Yeah, pound is everything is coming
value.
down.
So in fact, I think the best investment you can do this year is just buying dollars, and just, even if you keep it under your mattress, you would have done very, very well. So
depends on where you live, or if they flood in that area, don't keep it there.
So dollar savings is good. Then there are also other vehicles, in Nigeria. So you have money market funds.
Okay.
So again, they're a short-term vehicle. So I think I've had Jollz speak about mutual funds before.
No, there's a reason I'm looking at you in this manner. Keep going about this mutual funds.
The mutual funds, the entry sort of amount is usually around 5,000 naira. And there are different types, right? So there's the short-term type, which in the current environment, if you get up to 10% or more.
After how long? No, I want you to say it.
After a year.
Good.
It's 10%.
It's something.
I wanted to. It's not information.
So you can do that. So there are different types of mutual funds. Some are more risky than others. So when you hear money market, it's not risky. What they typically do is buy what they call treasury bills. Meaning, when you hear treasury bills, it's just the government, federal government, borrowing for less than 365 days, and you'll pay back, less than 365 days. Another alternative is doing fixed deposit with the bank, right? So you can walk into your bank and say, oh, this money, I'm not going to use it. Maybe I want to use it to go to the World Cup, or I'm going on a vacation next year, and let me keep this money with you for 6 months. Give me, a particular interest rate. You have that options as well. However, the problem with those options is they don't have growth.
Yeah.
Meaning that if you want to, really become rich, think about it, the richest men in the world, the value of their, the entire money is in their stocks.
Sure.
Okay. Those of us,
so,
bro.
So long-term wise, that's when we now start saying, do investments, ETFs and all those things. But we don't recommend in the Nigerian market. We tend to say do it in, the US stock market, which has a history, of creating wealth.
So far, what you just said is buy dollars, right?
Money market
funds, which, like I have said, then is neither here nor there. That's just the fact. I put it there because that's when I'm sitting in my account. When I want to withdraw it, I withdraw it, and then I get like 1.35%, which is, again, neither here nor there, because by that time the dollar has gone up. So the whole 35% has cancelled.